Hello everyone, Konta here. In this video we will participate on the testnet tree of Humanode, a project that we support as pecan below. To participate we will use a VM, and to access the VM we need an SSH key. For this we need to install PuTTY application. We will use GCP as our cloud provider, but feel free to use any cloud platform you like. After downloading PuTTY suitable for your computer, a brief installation step will take place. Feel free to press Next for the entire setup. Keep the default settings intact. After installing PuTTY, the application we need to utilize the PuTTY again. We will use it to generate our SSH key. Press Generate to start the process. Create some randomness by moving your cursor at the middle. Name the key command however you like. For key passphrase, make sure to give it a password you won't forget. Then, from Conversions tab, click on Export OpenSSH key for SNF file format. Here, I name my private key as pk.pam. Feel free to change the pk part, but keep extension part as pam. Now, we will go over the VM setup. Press Create a VM button to start the process. For testnet 3, 2 cores, 4 GB of RAM and 40 GB of disk is required. Feel free to name your instance however you like. Then GCP already gives 2 cores, 4 GB of RAM as default below. I don't change it. I just need to select operating system and disk size from below. As operating system, we need to use Ubuntu 20.0 for LTS version, and as disk size, I type 40. In the networking part, I put Humanode as a networking tag, which will come handy in the upcoming steps, no importance right now. For me to connect to this VM via an SSH key, I need to add my SSH key to the system. To do so, I click on Add Item, copy public SSH key from the PuTTY and paste it there. VM setup is complete now. After clicking on Create, VM will be running and ready for access. We only need to open some ports for testnet 3 participation, and to do so we need to go to the firewall section and add a firewall rule. Click on Create a Firewall Rule button. Name the rule however you like. When you type Humanode to the network tag, it links the rule to the VM that we just created. After filling IP4 part, we need to open some TCP ports. These ports are 9933, 9944 and 3333. Since the firewall rule and VM is already linked via networking tag, we don't need to carry any more steps, it is ready to be utilized. We will only access it via an external IP. To use the external IP later on, I keep the page opened. Now we need to install the launcher of Humanode. The node will be set up from this launcher and the next steps will be carried from the node itself. Since I'm using a Windows computer, I installed the Windows launcher. After waiting for a short time, the launcher will begin and we will set up the node itself. Press Create Workspace to start the node setup. We will access it via remote SSH. For hosts, we need to put our VM's external IP. I take this from Google Cloud Platform and paste it to there. For username, we need to put the key command that we used in PuTTY. I copy paste it from the PuTTY itself. Then, by pressing More Connections Options button, we select our custom private key and select pk.pem file that we saved up before. We will use this file to connect. We need to put the password we created while creating the SSH key itself. I just type it here and establish the connection. A Windows firewall rule just pops up. We need to allow access. For testnet 3, we select testnet 3 and click on install. Installation will be completed quickly and our node will be ready to be configured. Now we will configure the node. First, we need the ngrok. Ngrok is a tunnel system, and without an auth token from ngrok, node itself will time out after 8 hours of running. We would need to rerun the node itself. After signing up with ngrok, we go to auth token section and copy our token. First, we fill the telemetry name. This determines how your node will be named in the telemetry itself. Name it however you like. Then, by pressing Insert Authorization key, we paste the auth token we copied from ngrok. Then, we will go to the mnemonic part. This is our private key. I'm creating a private key from scratch here, but if you already have a private key from testnet 2, feel free to use it instead of generating a new one. It will work exactly the same way. Now, node configuration is completed. Press Start the Node button, but do not carry actions with the QR code itself. We need to wait for our node to sync. You can check the logs for this. In the meantime, let's install a Polkadot wallet. This wallet will be used for later steps. Since I use Chrome, I install a Polkadot wallet for Chrome. Press plus and import accounts from pre-existing seed. I need to put mnemonic seed created before. Name your account however you like, just don't forget the password below. For security reasons, we need to enter the password once more. After adding the account, we now have a public address that can be utilized on the human network. Now, we need to go to a faucet to get our human tokens. To do so, we go to Telegram. We will use a bot service to get our tokens with our address created just before. Press Start button to start the bot. Then, next to /get_tokens command, we need to put the address that we just created and we will get some tokens. These tokens are needed for later steps to become a validator in the human network. Tokens have arrived now. We don't have any more steps to carry in the Telegram. At this step, if syncing is complete, if you don't see any syncing on the logs, you can scan the QR code from the phone and proceed with the steps from the phone. When we scan the QR, following page pops up. We have 3 steps to carry. First step is enroll. Enrollment step will scan our face and save it to the chain. Also connect our private key to our face scan. If we lose our private key after a successful enrollment step, since our face scan is already connected to a private key, we cannot continue with the next step, so keep the private key safe. After pressing enroll, application will start our camera and we will start scanning our face. We place our face into the oval and press I'm ready button. Then we come a little bit closer and scan again. Now enrollment step is complete. Our facial identity is saved on the chain. We need to rotate our session keys with the tokens that we got previously. By pressing rotate and set session keys, we rotate and set our session keys. Then we come at the authentication part. This part is needed to become a validator. We will check our identity from the chain and start as a validator. It's the same procedure as enrollment. We will place our face again, scan our face, then come a bit closer and rescan. After seeing authentication is completed, we can close the page. We don't have anything to do with the form. This is the end of testnet tree. We have carried every step that can be carried for testnet tree on the human network. We only need to check our validator status after some blocks. After waiting for some blocks, we will search our address on Polka.js. When we go to Polka.js, we select session as selected state query, validators on the next tab, and press plus to query the session. There are many addresses here. We can search for our address via pressing Ctrl F. As long as our address appears on the list, we are validators on the human network. This is the end of testnet tree participation of Humanode. In case you experience any problems or have any feedback, please don't hesitate to contact us via Piconvalue Telegram group. Thank you for your attention and your participation in Humanode testnet phase 3.